Hello and welcome. I hope you can hear me. Do need to do a sound check actually, because I have no idea if you can actually hear me at the moment. Can you hear me? Seems like you can. So, this is round one of ARL's new summer series, and it's the Summer Showdown. And this is round one of here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and this is a championship mainly directed to teams of two cars per team, but there are a few drivers here racing for themselves in the gentleman's class. We have many people here. This is Andre Martins, currently looking out for Clutch Kick Motorsports in the Lexus. And not entirely sure who that was that just went off there, but for someone. And this is car 404. We go down. This is Jerome Adamaco. And he is racing for MJ Esport along with his teammate Maximilian Hacker in the Ferrari. So, back to Andre Martins then. He is the first one out onto the 24-hour section of this Nürburgring Nordschleife circuit. And over the crest, down into the right-hander. Famous for the Jan Mardenborough crash in real life, and it's definitely a challenge for many on every kind of game, every kind of championship. So we go down to other drivers. This is Perez. And I'm not sure I have Perez accounted for in my notes. So I have to keep an eye on him. And Nico Prince in the Porsche. Lovely blue and green livery. We've still got a few drivers in the pit lane, such as Squirrel in the green Ferrari. And this is Marquez. Daniel Marquez driving for himself in the gentleman's class. Ferreira in the BMW, David Bender in the Porsche. But let's go back to Andre Martins. He's furthest along on this circuit. The sound of that Lexus roaring around this track. And this is the Mustang of the Aussie, Brett Butler. It's actually quite a nice livery. The purple, blue and black working together quite nicely. But so far staying in the pit lane. This is looking like a decent lap from Martins as he heads towards the mini carousel. Not the mini carousel, the carousel. That's my bad. I always forget which one comes first, to be honest, on this track. And in about 40 minutes time we are going to have the most chaotic first lap, because it always is around this circuit. And we're going to have 17 cars, maybe even more if more join during qualifying, all piling into turn one together. And boy, is it going to be a joy to watch. Martins making it around the track well. Ooh, maybe took a bit too much curb there on the right hand side. And the last time we were here, this track for the Saturday series was back when this man here, Squirrel, won the ARL Endurance Championship, beating Andrew Canoro and Jordan Marshall to the title. It was a great title fight. We've still only got 3 cars in the pit lane, made that 2 cars, as Fuller makes his way out in the Porsche. Who just leaves Brett Butler, who makes his way out of the pit lane, just leaving the champion Squirrel. Probably having a look at what he can do to his setup to make it faster. And down the long back straight goes Andre Martins. Clutch Kick Motorsport might be able to enjoy a wonderful pole position here at round 1 if Martins can complete this lap well enough. We have got a yellow flag, as this is now Martins to cross the line. It's an 8:17.2. We've seen quicker, but that's a very good benchmark time. So let's have a look at Adamako's in the pit lane. I think he was next to cross the line, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Someone across the line, but I think that's his starter time. There's a car going down that straight, and that is Maximilian Hacker. And Maximilian Hacker, part of MJ Esport, with Jerome Adamako as his teammate. What can Hacker do in the Ferrari? Heading down now That's a lot of curb on the right-hand side, and he's kissed the wall on the exit, but he'll come across the line and he'll come into the pit lane, aborting that lap. So still only Andre Martins who has completed a time. This is Ferrara, Paulo Ferrara. As we look down, still Squirrel hasn't left the pit lane. And this is Nico Prince in the Porsche. I think he's going round to start a lap, as that's the very bottom end of this track. He's then come up the Grand Prix layout, and just before the final corner of the Grand Prix layout, you go on to the actual Nordschleife section. 27.5 minutes remain of qualifying. And if we snap back to reality just for a moment and have a look at Formula One. Kimi Antonelli has got pole at Monaco. But yeah, in the Mercedes, Kimi Andrea Antonelli on pole position at Monaco. Yet another pole he can add to the tally. Oh, I've made that. So, let's see. That is a car that is nearing crossing the line. I'm not sure who, but it's McMillan. Steve McMillan has crossed the line and only goes 24.5 seconds slower than Andre Martins. And this is Brett Butler in the other Mustang. And the other driver for B&M Motorsports. And if I was to make a guess, B&M stands for Butler and McMillan. And that specific team name, Alonso Amador in a purple and yellow Porsche. Ooh, that looks like a very nice livery indeed. Purple and gold always looks good on a race car, even if it is a bit yellow. That's a very nice livery. And we have Leon Forberg to join us. Had to double check which Forberg it was. And the classic Red Bull liveried Ferrari. Couple of drivers crossing a line, presumably not setting valid lap times. And this is Kowalczyk I think there was a bit of oversteer there on the exit. Crosses the line and he goes second place. 17.2 seconds off of Martin's time, and there is Martin's back out onto the track to try and improve on his 8 minute 17. Oh, and there's Squirrel out on track in the green Ferrari. So we are currently at 3 viewers. So let's hope that that can improve. Oh, we got a yellow flag. And I believe that may have been David Bender. I may be wrong. I just did see that little yellow dot on the track map and tried to work out who it was. I think it was David Bender. Must have made some kind of error. And Bender is going to come back around, not into the pit lane, but to start a flying lap. And Dim Peugeot in the BMW, car number 11. And Daniel Marquez in the, I'm going to say it, it's a fiery liveried Ferrari. Red and yellow, the prominent colours, and I think dipping a wheel or two into the gravel trap there on the exit. And Alonso Amador in the Porsche has hit the wall right at the end of his lap. Must have got some oversteer there through the left-hander and not been able to make the right-hander, as that was Wright who went past in the Lexus. That's not at all, not at the end of the lap, sorry, that was the start of the lap. And this is Seltzer in the pit lane in the black and silver Mustang. That is someone at least near the finishing line. I could hear it. That's Jerome Anamaco pushing his BMW to the very limit. And it almost got a bit unstable, but getting the power down on the exit. Looking very nice there. 20 minutes remain of qualifying. Currently only 3 valid laps have been set. An 18.72. Sorry, no, an 08.17.2. From Andre Martins. Kowalczyk has set a time 17 seconds slower for P2, and Steve McMillan has set a time 24 seconds slower for P3. And for people who has just joined us, this is round 1 of the America's Racing League Summer Showdown. And as long as all goes to plan, it happens every Saturday at this time Well, it started around about 4 o'clock BST, and it happens every 3 weeks on a Saturday, and there'll be 6 rounds until the finale, where a champion will be crowned, a driver's champion, but also a team's champion, as we have MJ Esports, Flat 6 Committee, B&M Motorsports, and Clutch Kick Motorsports as some of the top contenders. So 18 cars currently on track. Well, 15 cars currently on track. 3 in the pit lane, and Maximilian Hacker has just crossed the line. It's at a time just over 2 seconds slower than Andre Martin's time. So that's going to lead him to try and push. And try and improve his time of an 8:17 even. And while all opinions are welcome on the quality of commentary, that can be discussed personally, as that's not what we're here for. We are here to watch some cars go round a brilliant circuit, not to judge how good or bad this commentating is. So top 5, 4 of the top 5 are in the pit lane. Obviously, Martin's trying to set a quicker time. There is Brett Butler, and next to him, his teammate Steve McMillan for B&M Motorsports. And Alan Mako is in the pit lane as well. Alonso Amador in the Porsche. Still got damage from when he hit the wall. And if we could keep that to supporting, that would be lovely. Dim Peugeot in the BMW. He's got damage to the front and rear of his car, so he must have had an accident somewhere on track. There is Perez running down this circuit in his Porsche. Lovely. Oh, I think, is that all white? It's got a little bit of detailing around on it, but it's a nice looking Porsche. A little bit of red detailing. As Perez crosses the line, is it going to be a valid time? It does not go up, so apparently not. This is Ferrara in the BMW. It's another aggressive livery. The green and red, red at the front, green at the back. Almost to symbolise that if you're behind me, then it's green and good, and if you're in front of me, well, traffic lights have to change colour at some point. And back to Andre Martins, who must have crossed the line at some point, but oh, that I believe is, yes it is, it's Daniel Marquez, who ended up spinning, and well, he's back in the pit lane now, along with Fuller. And Martins ended up back in the pit lane as well for not setting a good enough lap time. Perez going again, it seems. This is right in the Lexus. Teammates with Martins, and he doesn't seem to be he seemingly can't get the lap that his teammate can. And there's Adamako in the BMW. So the race should start about 5 minutes after qualifying ends, and qualifying will end in 12 and a half minutes time, plus the time it takes for the drivers that are on the lap at that point to complete their lap, and that could take up to 8 minutes, as it is a very, very long lap around here. And David Bender's just out of time. I did miss that one. Unfortunately, I was consulting my notes. So we now have 5 drivers who have set a valid time out of the 18 that are racing here. 12 minutes to go in qualifying of round 1 of the ARL Summer Showdown. And there's Squirrel, who's finally on a lap. And that was Wright, I believe. Yeah, Wright has just set a lovely time to put Clutch Kick Motorsport, have 2 cars in the top 5, 2 cars in the top 3 even. They're just split by Maximilian Hacker of MJ Esport. And MJ Esport's other driver, Jerome Adamako, I think currently on a lap. But it looks like it's a good day for Lexus, and definitely a good day for Clutch Kick Motorsports. But we've still got the race to have, and there can still be every other driver go quicker than them. It's not impossible. But we have still got quite a few drivers in the pit lane with just 10 minutes to go. Oh dear, we seem to have lost someone. I'm not entirely sure who we've lost, but we're down to 17 cars. I don't know if that's a disconnection or if it's just someone deciding to leave, but we're left with 17 here, with less than 10 minutes to go in qualifying here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And Wright still going, trying to improve in his Lexus and maybe get a front row lockout for Clutch Kick Motorsports. That would be truly fantastic for them. And that is Ferreira, who's just put the BMW into 6th place. It's a nice lap. There's Brett Butler in the Mustang in the pit lane. Someone's just leaving the pit lane, I believe. I mean, that could be anyone. I also happen to have lost my markers. We're stuck with Kowalczyk. I've lost all controls. I've lost all my controls. I'm oh no 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 no. As that is Forberg. Forberg's has gone 4/10 slower than Martin's. I think I finally got my controls back. Sorry, I just had to do pretty much a full reset. Squirrel's gone quickest in the Ferrari to spoil Clutch Creek Motorsports Day. Squirrel has thrown the lime green Ferrari onto provisional pole. And this is where qualifying starts getting interesting. We're starting to get proper flying laps flying in here. I also think it was just Forberg then, because Wright's now down in 5th. So yeah, two cars improving. It was the 2 Ferraris of Squirrel and Forberg, and this is Martin's, who crossed the line, may have improved, but certainly hasn't improved on position. This is Daniel Marquez in the Ferrari, throwing it round. And here you can hear the tyres squealing. Through the carousel now. Now we go back to Squirrel, who looks like he's going for another lap. And last time out, he got 3rd place here, which crowned him the ARL Endurance Champion. About 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that was a great race to watch. And in that race, I believe he started 10th. So imagine what he could do if he can keep that car and start from pole position. This is David Bender in the Porsche trying to improve on his time, as he's nearly half a minute slower than Squirrel's provisional pole time. It just doesn't seem to have as much confidence as some of the other drivers out there. And as we reach 4:45 British Summer Time, we have 5 minutes remaining of qualifying here. There's Squirrel, and there's Martins, and Leon Forberg. The top 3, the top 5 are all out. Brett Butler staying in the pit lane, living in the pit lane apparently. Who says the phrase is living in the fast lane? It's living in the pit lane. Everyone knows that. There's Alonso Amador. I mean, logic would tell me, as Bender's improved on his time by about a second. Into the pit lane he goes. Let's go to Jerome Adamaco. Adamaco is part of MJ Esport, along with Maximilian Hacker, who's in the top 5. And Adamako's just put it third. So now, less than a second separate the top 4 of Squirrel, Martins, Adamako and Forberg. Wow. So we have both MJ Esport cars in the top 5. We have both Clutch Kick Motorsports in the top 6. And we have 3 Ferraris in the top 5 as well. Speaking of Ferraris, Daniel Marquez come around to complete his outlap to start what will be his final flying lap of the day. And we've got a new car here. It is Bacala, David Bacala, in the BMW. He's arrived a bit late, to be honest. He could probably get around if he exits the pit lane now. He could probably get around for an outlap, but as we reach 2 minutes to go, Bacala, Dimpeugeot, Fuller, Brett Butler, David Bender, Ferreira, Macmillan, Kowalczyk, Wright and Hacker are all in the pit lane and don't look like they have much interest in leaving the pit lane. So they're happy with their times. So that leaves Squirrel, the endurance champion, Andre Martins, Jerome Adamako, Leon Forberg, Alonso Amador, who hasn't set a time, Daniel Marquez, Perez, and Nico Prince. So 4 drivers who haven't set a time, 4 drivers who have set a time. That's who we're left with of qualifying. 1 minute remains. Alonso Amador also seems to be out. I don't know what's going on with his Porsche. And Perez is coming to the pit lane as well. So we're left with Daniel Marquez, Nico Prince in the pit lane, Leon Forberg now. Let's watch him and see what he can do in the Red Bull liveried Ferrari. Might be an anticlimactic end to what looked like a decent qualifying. Took a while to get going, and then we had 5-10 minutes of drama, and now it doesn't really seem like it's going to end with too much. What can Leon Forberg produce for the Forberg brothers? Can't improve, and that's the end of qualifying. Squirrel claims pole position, Leon Forberg second, and Andre Martins gets third. Jerome Adamako and Maximilian Hacker for MJ Esport round out the top 5. And then you have Wright just outside for Clutch Kick Motorsports. 10 of 19 cars got us to set a lap time. But once again, it looks like Ferrari's on top. Ferrari 1-2. And now we have 2.5 minutes before the start of the 100 minutes of the Nordschleife. And Troiano, talk about leaving it late, has just come in just after qualifying. And again, in my list of drivers, haven't got him. But he'll be starting from the back of the grid. So let's put our focus on Squirrel. Pole position for him. For the man who, I'll say it again, won the Endurance Championship here 4 weeks ago. And I can hear engine sounds, but no cars are going around the track. Just a minute remains before the start of the 100 minutes of Nordschleife to kick off the Summer Showdown series here.
Thirty seconds.
He said it, 30 seconds until the start, until Squirrel and Forberg lead us away.
20 seconds.
And we'll give them some credit. The Forberg brothers, in the same race that Squirrel sealed the championship, the Forberg brothers did go on to win that race. In a very chaotic 3.5 hours. What a brilliant one it was. Squirrel leads us away then, as the drivers get a chance to warm up their tyres. And, well, Squirrel in the Ferrari, he's got a big gap between him and Forberg, has to fully stop so that the others can catch up. Martins has overtaken Forberg. Cars everywhere, chaos all around. And that's a lot of eager drivers, all preparing to launch. Martins without his headlights on. We got to get them on. Squirrel really wants to go here, but he keeps having to stop on track, and now he's alongside with Forberg. Everyone will get into their formation now. And, well, once they reach that timing line, they can floor it. Which they do. Squirrel gets a decent start. He's going to have to worry about Forberg, and Forberg maybe taking it. Forberg in the drag race to the braking zone. He's got the inside line, might be able to take it here. He's done it, and now Adamako might have a chance at Squirrel. Forberg has taken the lead. And Squirrel desperately fighting to stay ahead of Adamako. So there's Forberg in the lead. Squirrel doesn't stay ahead of Adamako. Adamako's up to second. Then Squirrel. Then Martins has dropped multiple places. Something's happened to Martins because Wright is now ahead of him. Martin's been overtaken by his teammate. But Forberg leads from second. Adamako in second from fourth. Squirrel third from the lead. And let's have a look at the back. It is Troiano staying in last place. And there's Bakala ahead of him. Nico Prince in the Porsche. And Squirrel has to now refocus and try and work on getting past the cars ahead of him. But that's a lot of pressure that Maximilian Hacker's putting on him. But Hacker got a bit too much curb there. And got all a bit wobbly there. Oh, Martins! Martin's had a massive crash. I think it got past Wright, and now Wright's made it back through as he smashes against the wall on the left-hand side. That's going to be a very damaged car, and the black and orange flag being waved, presumably for that Lexus, because that was a heavy, heavy hit. And this is Steve McMillan. A couple of drivers ahead of him. Kowalczyk is fighting with Daniel Marquez, has to fold in behind the Ferrari as they go up the crest now. So Butler, I think, has gained a couple of places. David Bender didn't get the best of starts in the Porsche. Forberg leads Anamaco. Who'd have thought? There is what's known as the meatball flag, and still can't entirely work out who it's for, and I can give you a proper rundown now of the order. Forberg leads, Anamaco second, Squirrel third, Hacker fourth, Martins fifth, Wright sixth, Marquez seventh, Pereira eighth, Kowalczyk 9th, McMillan 10th, Butler 11th, Perez 12th, Dimpinjo in 13th, 14th for Prince, Amador in 15th, Fuller in 16th, Troiano 17th, Bender in 18th, and Bakula rounds out the order in 19th. And they're all relatively close together. The biggest gap is Fuller to Amador, and that's 6 seconds, so no one's had any big spins. And Anamaco slowly falling back into Squirrel, and we know how fast Squirrel is at this track once he gets into it. But the track is going to be a bit colder than what it was last time out, and he's all over the back of him. You can see he's so close. He's desperate to make the move here. Look at how close Squirrel is to Jerome Adamaco. Squirrel's off onto the grass. Following just a bit too closely there. And it's so easy to make a mistake around this track. It is so difficult to get right. And Hacker might be willing to feed off of any scraps from this battle. Squirrel just making a slight movement to the right, just eyeing up any possibilities, and maybe even forcing Anamaco into a mistake as well. And now we get to see if there's any changes to the order as they pass the second timing line on this track. Nothing that seems too crucial yet. Prince has got past Dimpinjo. There's Brett Butler in 11th behind his teammate Steve McMillan. McMillan goes a bit deep. Is Butler going to find the opportunity? Not forcing it. Perez thought he could have a chance there, and this lot is so close together. Oh dear, that's Marquez. Daniel Marquez has had an off, and he's gone from 7th all the way down to behind Dimpinjo in 15th. And that is just how close all those drivers are. If our race leader Forberg was to make that mistake, he'd probably lose out to Anamaco and Squirrel. Not all those positions. It's going to be very difficult to make up now because it's so difficult to overtake at this track. You have to force the other drivers into a mistake. And Bender and Bakula are the drivers that are the furthest back. Bender 14 seconds behind Troiano, and Bakula 14 seconds behind Bender, and that's a lot of damage to that BMW. That's a whole lot of damage that he's got to nurse back to the pit lane, and he's hit the wall again. Really unfortunate for the BMW driver there. So we go back to the race leader, Leon Forberg. No doubt his brother will be cheering him on. And Marquez! Marquez is in the wall again! This time it seems a lot more crucial. And this time he's ended up back in the pit lane. Oh dear. This is Nico Prince in the Porsche, trying to close in on the B&M Motorsports cars ahead. Fuller's into the pit lane as well. He must have had a crash. And that up ahead, that's Ferreira and Kowalczyk having a go. Kowalczyk in the Porsche against Ferreira in the Ferrari. I think Fuller has left. Kowalczyk is ahead of Ferreira and up into 7th place. Squirrel's ahead of Hacker, and I missed it. Such an important overtake in this race, and Hacker must have gone wide there because he looked really slow at a turn 2. And now he's going to have pressure from Martins as he slides out off the track. It's a very bad voice crack on my part. But off. And that was not at all the tone I was going for there. As we have 16 cars remaining in this race. And Anna Martins is ahead of Hacker as well. So Hacker really needs to refocus here. And Hacker's gone off. He hasn't refocused. And that's his teammate, Jerome Adamaco, who's just gone through. And he needs to make sure he doesn't spiral. We have only 15 cars remaining now. And was that Adamaco that went off? I think it was. And off again. Lots of cars struggling here. And we have 14 cars on track. Bender's in the pit lane, I think, going to fix his Porsche and then keep going. Let's have a look at Brett Butler in the Mustang. And an hour and a half remains. We got Troiano back now. I think Troiano's now back. So we can refocus and get a good drive going now. Dim Peugeot is in the pit lane now as well. There's a big gap between Kowalczyk and Wright here. And Wright will want to capitalise on any mistake that Maximilian Hacker makes. Oh, Wright's gone off. He's made a mistake himself. Well, trying to pressure the car in front, and I talk about pressure when you're the race leader and you've got squirrel breathing down your neck. That is pressure. Ferrari versus Ferrari. Probably the two quickest drivers out there. And they are going to go head to head at the infamously the most difficult track in the world. And they're going to push each other to the limit. But which one's going to break first? Well, for a corner, it'll be Forberg because he's ahead of Squirrel, but not in that context, obviously. So they're just going to be eyeing each other up. Martins will also be looking to capitalise on anything. I mean, there was a point where he looked like he was going to be on pole position. Now he watches on as the two Ferraris ahead of him battle in a place that he'll believe he should be in. Forberg's actually pulling out a bit more of a gap to Squirrel. Leon Forberg really putting the power down. And there's fourth place, the BMW of Jerome Adamaco. Oh, he's off! That's a big crash for Jerome Adamaco! Can he keep it going in a straight line? Well, no, he's definitely got suspension damage after that. That's huge. And is he going to be able to nurse that back to the pit lane? Or is he going to have to tow that back to the pit lane? That's huge suspension damage. Can't tell if he's pulling over or just fighting the car to try and keep it in a straight line, but no, he's pulling over. He cannot no longer drive that car, but that's huge. Think, well, that was big. It was a big hit. Now back to the two Ferrari drivers. Just look at them throw the car around with such precision and control. Personally, I could watch these two drive Ferraris for hours on end. And, well, it's really difficult because we know we want to look at action all around the track, but it's this action that's going to be so important to this race. Squirrel against Forberg. Through the mini carousel they go. And now heading down towards that long back straight, which to a point gives them a little bit of respite. They don't have to put so much force through their shoulders. But Forberg trying to break the slipstream. Squirrel getting very, very close. But the moment he pulls out, he just has a wall of air. He sort of needs to slingshot himself with the slipstream, but he's sort of stuck on that outside line through the left-hand kink. Slightly later on down the straight, it's going to be really close between them. Forberg stays ahead for now. Oh, so close. And just how close. Forberg holding on to the race lead, followed by Martins, well, followed by Squirrel, then Martins. And Squirrel sets the fastest lap of the race. Yes, it's the second lap of the race, but it was faster than Forberg. And that bit's crucial. And while this gap has got a bit bigger, we can look further down the order. So there is Andre Martins for Clutch Kick Motorsports. There's his teammate. Right, Amador and Adamako are both in the pit lane. And I think they may have had a collision with each other. They're very close and have a lot of damage. Two rather big names in the ARL into the pit lane with damage to their cars. And let's have a look. That was Prince fighting with Ferreira even. Ferreira's gone deep. Prince, has he got the opportunity on the left hand side? Now he's going to have the outside line. Round the outside. He demands the space. And now he'll have the outside line through the right hand kink. He just about keeps the Porsche on the track. It's a fantastic move from Nico Prince. What a move to put that Porsche up into 7th place. That was beautiful to watch. Round the outside. Ferreira held his line and it worked really well. That was brilliant. And these two followed by Perez in the Porsche. Lovely white Porsche. And then followed by the two Mustangs of Steve McMillan and then Brett Butler. And now back to the race leaders. Squirrel and Forberg, once again, oh so close with each other. And just to recap, this is the ARL, America's Racing League Summer Showdown. It's a championship with both a drivers and teams championship, just like you would have in Formula One. But there are quite a few drivers racing for themselves without a team, such as both of these two, Leon Forberg and Squirrel, both fighting for the Drivers' Championship. And for this race at least, it's one mandatory pit stop. Amador and Bender have both already served theirs. And got 6 rounds of this championship, separated by 3 weeks, as long as all goes well. And another interesting rule in this championship is, not for this race, it's the first round, but the top 3 in the championship from round 2 onwards will have a success ballast. So the top 3 drivers will have presumably extra weight added to their cars to try and keep this racing fair and interesting. And hopefully it'll stop these two from dominating every single race. And Now, let's have a look. Down the order, Nico Prince in the Porsche, with a fair gap to the other Porsche of Kowalczyk. That's Perez, who's going to try and force a move on Ferreira in the Ferrari, which is such a fun thing to say. Ferreira in the Ferrari. Oh, Perez is off, clipping the grass there. And when you see that name, you expect to see a Cadillac they're in, but oh, going for it on the inside of the carousel, on the inside, trying to pick off Ferreira, who went a bit deep, and now Perez clipping the grass. It's not over yet. It is now. Perez has made the move on Ferreira, and well, Ferreira, I think, has been overtaken by 3 different drivers. Perez has gone off. And Perez hits the wall. Ferreira has to slow down to avoid the car across the road. And now Ferreira flashing his headlights saying, you have to let me through because I slowed down to avoid you. And now what that's also done is it's brought the 2 Mustangs of the B&M Motorsport cars closer to this fight. Oh, he's off again. Perez is off again. Can Ferreira get through this time? Yes. And so will the Mustangs, I believe. Yeah, both Mustangs get through cleanly as well. And that went from a beautiful move at the carousel to an utter shambles. Fulberg and Squirrel now fighting down the straight. And Squirrel might have taken it this time. On the right-hand side, Fulberg would have the inside line through the kink, the left-hand kink, side by side. Squirrel has to concede though. Fulberg just about holds on. Oh, so close between these two. Fulberg in the Red Bull liveried Ferrari, Squirrel in the green liveried Ferrari. And well, they'll separate for, oh no, that's it's not Amador, but somebody has gone off. I can't work out what car that is. It's Maximilian Hacker in the Ferrari. From 5th place. Has had a big crash. Has to come into the pit lane now. That's huge. So there's Kowalczyk who'll go through. And I think the driver that left was Perez. Yes, Perez has left. I wonder if he has any plans of returning or not. But so far, 14 cars remaining still racing, 2 in the pit lane, fixing damage to their cars. And we have to go back to the top two Ferrari drivers. So, with the mistake from Hacker, that means that the 2 Lexus cars of the Clutch Kick Motorsports team are now in 3rd and 4th, and that can be very good points for their team, and I think that'll put them, well, it should put them first in the team standings. And Forberg under so much pressure from Squirrel. And once again, we have input from one of the drivers, which is something we always love to see. It's Maximilian Hacker in the Ferrari, saying it was like driving on ice, and the car just wasn't on it today. It's really unfortunate to see, but the track is a lot colder than it was last time in the Endurance Championship, so tyre temperatures could definitely have something to do with it. Aerodynamic grip also could have played a role in that, but really unfortunate for him. And yes, of course, also the BOP that they have to add to the cars. And that Squirrel has an opportunity to go for it on the left-hand side, but just Forberg closing the door. And yeah, the BOP does make the weight a lot different from when they were last racing the Endurance Championship 3 or 4 weeks ago. And Squirrel having to jump on the brakes to make sure he didn't hit Forberg. And again, having a little look, trying to get Forberg to overthink the braking, trying to force him into anything untoward that can happen. And no, the Fords aren't quite close enough. Steve McMillan and Brett Butler separated by about 3 seconds in the Mustangs. Definitely running their own race in 8th and 9th, and they can be very happy with that. B&M Motorsport. But of course, we've still got pit stops to go. We've got over an hour of racing still to be had. It's what you see right now can be a whole lot different to what it will be by the end of this race. So yeah, thank you to Skate Material, not competing in this championship, but was competing in the Endurance Championship. So nice to hear from drivers of other competitions as well as drivers of the current championship that we're watching. And once again, ooh, Squirrel, it's a bit of a gap to Forberg. It might be intentional to try and get a better run down that long straight, and that wasn't a fast exit from Forberg as they go through to the mini carousel. I think that might be intentional as well, trying to stop what Squirrel was trying to do. And now, down the long back straight. Squirrel's going to have a decent slingshotting opportunity, as Forberg will be punching a hole through the air. Squirrel's not taking it. Squirrel's not taking the slipstream. It slowly moves over to take Forberg's slipstream. And trying to gain and gain and gain and gain and gain. It's just not working out. Oh, so close between them. And they've still got the run down into turn 1, which could lead to an overtaking opportunity. But a bit too much of a gap, I think, for any sort of move. Down into turn 1. We've got 1 hour and 6 minutes remaining. We're going to go for a break, and we'll leave you with the race leader, Leon Forberg.
Feel charged. Feel the future. Feel unstoppable. With professional gardening tools powered by Makita XGT.
Starting making tax digital is simpler with Xero's HMRC recognized software. Xero is MTD ready and gives you more financial control, like offering customers more and faster ways to pay, online, in person, or on the go. Get MTD ready with Xero.
So, back from the break, and still things seem to be as they were when we went into the break. I didn't say that you could become loud. I was muting you. Can you mute, please? Thank you. Anyways, right. That's Alonso Amador going into the pit lane with another broken Porsche. Wright's pitted as well. And so because he's pitted, Kowalczyk is now ahead. And there's Nico Prince, who's also had a right since the stop. Oh, Prince is off. Prince has gone off in the Porsche. Really unfortunate for him. But really has to refocus now. Oh, what? What was that? Prince in the pit lane? Prince disconnected, possibly. Don't think it's going back to the pit lane. I think that's a disconnection from Nico Prince. Really unfortunate for him. Oh, and there is a reason that people sometimes are hesitant to joining these sort of championships, because disconnections can really affect them. As we've just seen there. Now 12 cars remain. And now coming to the tail end of the lap again. These two. Heading down to the same straight again, these two. And continue on with the same battle, these two. And whoever's in front when it comes to the pit stops could really make the difference. And now we have just 1 hour left of this race. Should be looking to end at 6:30 Central European time, and now down the same long straight. Forberg pulling out to deny the slipstream, and Squirrel going full beams for a moment to try and blind his opponent. Interesting tactics there. But Forberg stays ahead. And there is third place, Martins. Andre Martins in the Lexus. And there's Kowalczyk. And Squirrel pits. Squirrel pits in the Ferrari to try and undercut his opponent. I think he pitted first when he was fighting with Jordan Marshall a few weeks ago as well. So Forberg is finally relieved of the pressure physically. Mentally, there's still so much pressure on him. Think about so much. about not making any mistakes at all. And let's go back to the Fords. There's Steve McMillan. Running 6th, I believe. Oh dear, that's Troiano. Off ahead. That's a place there. And there must be damage to his car. Yeah, that's definitely suspension damage on Troiano's car. He's got to give way to right here. And he does so. And Butler... I think Butler may have made a mistake somewhere. Because he's behind Troiano here. And very far behind his teammate, Steve McMillan. Oh, as he pitted, he may have... did he already pit? Either way, I definitely missed something. But through the mini carousel he goes. There's Squirrel. And he's out in 3rd place. Only lost out to Martins. And well, let's see. The driver that's rounding out the top 10, it's David Bender in the Porsche. And is that... There's Ferrara, who I think has returned. Let's not get bogged down with who's disconnected and who hasn't, because it gets very, very difficult to work things out very, very quickly. And we just look at some racing. No real battles, though, here. So... Dim Peugeot currently running in last place in the BMW. And I'm not sure how much experience he has. Certainly my first encounter with him. I've got 3 drivers in the pit lane. Troiano with a very damaged car. Steve McMillan, who also has a damaged car, but might also be serving... that might also be a planned stop. And that is right as well. So Forberg has decided to stay out for another lap. You can hear the tyres squealing. I think they might be starting to struggle to hold on by now. And Squirrel has a lot of clean air that he can be gaining on Forberg now. And Nico Prince is back in the Porsche, although he'll be a few laps behind. Really unfortunate there that he disconnected here, but he can still continue on. That's two drivers out of the pit lane. That's McMillan and Wright. And are they going to start battling with each other? It's a good question to be asking. Brett Butler now ahead of them. So Brett Butler then running 6th place. is ahead of Wright and his teammate Steve McMillan. So Brett Butler could be on for a very good P6 finish here in the top half. So good on the Aussie for that one, as long as he can hold on to it. This is Ferreira in the fiery Ferrari. Finding the... I find a synonym for path that starts with F. But some good, smooth driving from him. So where is Forberg on the track? Forberg is coming up to the mini carousel. Then he's got the long back straight, and then we get to find out whether Forberg will decide to pit or not. Now we're on lap 6 here. 50 minutes to go. So now down the long back straight. Squirrel still has to make his way towards and then through the mini carousel. I don't know, I think I may have... Can you still hear me? I may have just disconnected my microphone.
Keep pushing.
And now that's the halfway mark in this race. And there is Forberg. Does he pit? He does. And now is the crucial question. Can Forberg get out ahead of Squirrel? It's going to get close. I have a sneeze. I'm waiting to sneeze and it's really difficult. So, Forberg finds his pit box. Martins follows him into the pit lane. Squirrel now heading down the long back straight, heading towards the left-hand kink. Forberg still in his pit box. There's Squirrel. There it is, it finally happened, I finally sneezed. Forberg now out of the pit box. Squirrel heading towards the final corner now. Forberg has to wait. Stuck at the speed limit. When can he turn that pit limiter off? Now he can! And Squirrel's gonna meet him at the first corner. It'll get close. They're side by side. Down into turn 1. And Forberg stays ahead. The undercut hasn't worked for Squirrel. He's still stuck behind Leon Forberg. It's worth looking. Martins is still in the pit lane as well. There is Ferreira. And Brett Butler. And these two still close together with each other. I can't wait to finally commentate on a track that isn't the Nürburgring. And that will be next Saturday, where I'll be commentating on the 8 hours of Silverstone. I'll be covering practice, qualifying in the first 3 hours of the race. And that is to raise money for breast cancer research. So, a cause just as important as this race. But for these two drivers, this race is so crucial. Squirrel, has he found a pocket? Has he found an opening on the right hand side? Now, oh, and Forberg cutting him right off, but Squirrel nearly had another opportunity. Oh, Forberg's gone off! Forberg off onto the gravel trap! Forberg has to get through the space! Squirrel's taken the lead! Squirrel is taking the lead of round 1 of the summer showdown here at Nordschleife. He's taken the lead of the race from pole position down to 3rd, now finally back up into 1st. And it all came down to one small error from Leon Forberg. Wow. Really is so unfortunate for Forberg. But now he has to refocus and try and repass Squirrel. And this battle will not stop until the checkered flag. Well, it won't even stop once the checkered flag is waved, only once they pass it in about 45 minutes' time. David Bend is in the pit lane. What a close race this is and will continue to be. Forberg all over the back of Squirrel. Looking to find any opportunity, just like Squirrel was just moments ago. Has he found the opening on the inside? No. Couldn't make that move stick. Oh, he's wide! Squirrel's gone wide! And Leon Forberg is back up into the lead! Squirrel, through the carousel, must have misjudged his steering. Maybe turning too early. Or maybe just too late. But Leon Forberg is back into the lead of this race here at the Nordschleife. So we'll have a quick look further down the order before we rejoin these two down the long back straight. There's Ferreira on his own. Butler also still on his own. Right, Bender, McMillan, Amador, Troiano, Din Peugeot, and Nico Prince. They're all pretty evenly spaced out. So now down towards the mini carousel. Snap of oversteer on entrance for Forberg. And now down the long back straight. Once again, Forberg leading. Once again, Forberg suffering all of the pressure from Squirrel. There's nothing really to say. They're just keeping the exact same difference at 8,000 RPM. Forberg still leads, and maybe there'll be an opportunity into turn one here. Squirrel as good as nose in on the left-hand side. They're side by side. Forberg just about holding on to the lead. And 7/100ths of a second separating them as they cross the line. Forberg holding the inside line. Is it the old switcheroo from Squirrel? No. Can't make the move stick. Forberg stays in front. "40 minutes left of this race here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Let's have another look further down. This is Nico Prince in last. That's Din Peugeot in the pit lane, presumably to serve his mandatory pit stop. Alonso Amador. There is Ferreira. Some decent driving behind him. Brett Butler storming down the long back straight. So, just to repeat, this is round one of America's Racing League's Summer Showdown at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. These two fighting for the race win here. By far the fastest round this track. And this is as I said, round 1 of 6. And it is set to end on, I believe, the 23rd, possibly 22nd of August. And that is then where we'll take a short break before going back to the Endurance Championship in September. Look at how close they are. They've had a lot of drivers that have had bad days, but no matter which way this battle goes, neither of them can say they've had a bad day. They've both been fighting at the front pretty much exclusively all race. There have been some drivers with properly bad days, like Nico Prince, who's now back in the pit lane, I think, to serve his mandatory pit stop. And yeah, with his disconnection earlier, or at least I presume it's a disconnection. Yeah, really unfortunate with that. These two have had such a great race. No matter who comes first and who comes second, they can both be very, very proud of this result. And we've still got 35 minutes to go. I mean, obviously, if one of these drivers spins off and crashes every corner, they can be disappointed. But I would say that's very unlikely to happen. These two have such quantity of talent. And Forberg is really starting to pull away from Squirrel, who may need to refocus here. And, well, okay, apparently we're looking at right now. Just decided to change the camera for me. Ahead of him, Brett Butler. Behind him, his teammate, Steve McMillan. And Alonso Amador in the Porsche. This is Din Peugeot, who still needs to pit. The only driver who still needs to pit. There's Nico Prince, who, even though he's right down in last place, in the worst last place as well, 13th, he's still going strong. He's still racing here. And now back to the race leaders. There's Forberg, and Squirrel is quite a ways behind. It might be back-to-back races here at the Nordschleife for Leon Forberg. Of course, last time he did it with his brother, but still. And, well, I'll take this opportunity to go for another quick break and hopefully less adverts during the break. But yeah, as we always hope, there'll be less. We'll be back for the final 30 minutes of round 1 of the America's Racing League Summer Showdown. So the final 30 minutes of round 1 of the ARL Summer Showdown is here. 5 minutes past 6. Forberg leading and increasing that gap to Squirrel. And, well, Den Pessoa still in the pit lane. Oh no, just come into the pit lane even. I think, well, whether that's planned or not, that'll serve his mandatory pit stop. There's Forberg, and then there is Squirrel. And there is Alonso Amador, 9th place in the Porsche. And well, really, not much happening at all. We'll have... Well, it looks like we'll have Vorburg winning at the Nordschleife again. They must really love this track. If they were able to stop the unstoppable force that is Squirrel. The raging rodents seem to just be squeaking at the moment. Apologies, that wasn't very good. I think Pereira has lost a bit of time to Kowalczyk. I mean, that BMW looks okay. I'm misremembering, might be making my calculations wrong, but just seemed like it. Butler still settling in quite well to 6th. Wright is in 7th place behind him. I'm not actually sure how far behind him. I'll pass the timing line at some point, but it'll be over a minute. It won't be over a minute. It's 45 seconds between them. Steve McMillan in 8th place, and then two Porsches of Amador and Bender. And then 2 BMWs of Troiano, who's actually closing in on, I think that's Martins, who must have just lapped him. Or at least lapped him relatively recently. That's Lincoln Joe. And then, of course, Nico Prince. By the way, we're only on lap 10 here. Of course, the laps are so very long around here that, well, we've done... Oh, Prince! Scraping the wall there. Going a bit wide. I'm just having a little look at the replay now, if I can. Oh, he's off! He's completely off! And that's a big off for Nico Prince, and he's stopped. He can get the car running again and put it in reverse and keep going. But yeah, another wound from today. Oh no, Prince off again. And I guess this is the definition of a disaster class, really. But let's go back to the front. Vorburg leads, then Squirrel, as it has been for the last however many years since the start of this race. This race hasn't been too bad. Although, with 3.5 hours around this track, that felt like a lifetime of racing. I was ready to stop speaking for a month. Didn't, obviously. People begged me I would stop, but I never do. So, just over 20 minutes to go in this race. Round 1 of the Summer Showdown series. I think it's been a pretty good first race to really open up this series. It's the second time I've hit my microphone with food. Second time in what, 5 minutes? Maybe 8. Still. Hunger obviously never stops. This lot. Just race constantly. Forever. And Squirrel is still keeping touch with Forberg, but slowly but surely he's falling away. There is Martins, 70 seconds behind Squirrel. It really has been a two-horse race. The entire race, the entire 100 minutes, well, the 80 minutes that we've raced so far, well, 81 now. But a really, really good race it has been. I don't think we'll get too much more to see. Before the end of the race, but make sure you do stick around if you are watching, because it's always great to just finish up watching a brilliant race. You never know what could happen. You could have Leon Forberg spinning out and losing the race, but it doesn't look like that happen. 80 minutes to go here. Unfortunately, there's not too much to commentate on right now. I mean, we're just seeing some really good driving, and We want to see cars going sideways. We want to see drivers crashing into each other. That's really... Oh, that's Prince off. Just has not been able to get to grips with that Porsche car. A really unfortunate day for him. And the lights are flickering as well in the front of that car. So, more bad news for him then. Let's see about Triano. $16 minutes to go. That probably leaves us with 2 laps to go. Maybe 3 actually. As Forberg is going down the long back straight again. $15 minutes to go of this race, which started really well. It's going to end with dominance and about 50 car lengths between each car. Try 550. But we've seen some great battling between Leon Forberg and Squirrel. And in the finale of the ARL Endurance Championship, Forberg won the race. Squirrel won the whole championship. This time, Forberg wins the race. Forberg takes the lead of the championship. As it is round 1. Instead of the final 5th and final round. And we do have 5 more rounds to go after this one. And I shall tell you the tracks and dates of each next one. On the 20th of June, we've got Zandvoort. 11th of July, it's Watkins Glen. 1st of August is at Donington Park. Then we go to Kyalami on the 22nd of August. And on the 12th of September, we have Bathurst, which was the first race that I commentated on. That's the last race of this championship, and then later on in September, or maybe into October, that is when the ARL Endurance Championship starts again. And hopefully I can bring you all of the action. From that. Just over 12 minutes to go in the first round of the America's Racing League Summer Showdown. think Squirrel now starting to close in on Forberg again, and maybe could be a bit more of a chance that we get a big battle right at the end of this 100-minute long race. Oh, snap of oversteer from Forberg. And that's what Squirrel feeds off of, signs of weaknesses. Martins is now 80 seconds behind the two leaders. Brett Butler's in the pit lane. Why is Butler in the pit lane? Is it a planned second stop? I doubt it this late on. And so Wright made his way past. Must have made some sort of mistake and got damage to his car. And that is a shame, and maybe we will see a battle between the two Mustangs now. Depending on where Butler comes out. That's McMillan heading down the long back straight now, and this is the closest we've been to a battle for about 20 minutes. Just 10 minutes remain in this race. Oh dear, that was a lot of sparks coming from the underneath that Mustang. Butler is out of the pit lane quite a ways ahead of McMillan, so we're still quite far away from a battle, but this is a battle that can very much still happen. The battle for the race win. Leon Forberg against Squirrel. Rise at the death. It looked like it was going to be all Forberg. There's still a chance for the other Ferrari now. And this is what we wanted. This is what we needed at the end of this race. They almost take the identical lines. I guess it is too late for experimentation now. It is just all about these last 8 minutes. It will... Ooh, snap of oversteer from Squirrel. Oh, Squirrel! Squirrel's gone round! Squirrel's gone round, and that... Well, that seals it for Forberg. Oh no! Squirrel with a massive spin. Now, unless Forberg makes the exact same mistake next lap, which will be the final lap, then unfortunately for Squirrel, he's going to have to settle on P2. Right when it looked like he had another shot at taking this race win. It was a big spin.
Leaders on final lap now.
And so, Forberg has now started the final lap of the race. And this is Brett Butler in the Mustang. And the actual paintwork of that car, it's almost like it's glowing. Such a neon blue. Does look really, really nice. And so, looks like it'll be P7 and P8 for the two Mustangs of B&M Motorsport. Followed by the two Porsches of Alonso Amador, who's racing for himself, and David Bender, who's racing for Flat 6 Committee. It's not been a good day for them, as Nico Prince is the other driver for them. So 10th and 13th for them, separated by the two BMWs of Troiano. Troiano, who's at a spin, gets the engine running again and moves the car back around. And then D'Impanzo Troiano through the mini carousel. Well, timer ticks down to the last 5 minutes now, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is they're on the final lap. And Forberg just has to drive the car. And Leon Forberg will have single-handedly fired the Forberg brothers to another win here at Nürburgring Nordschleife. He should be very proud of this achievement. Even in sim racing, very few people can win a race, an online race here, let alone two in a row. They really are on top of the world here. You know what? To honour the Forberg brothers, I am going to let's go on board for the final 3 minutes. This is Leon Forberg's on board. What a race he's had. Nordschleife in the dark. They have come and they have conquered. In the Ferrari conquered Squirrel, who was always going to be the man to beat, the reigning endurance champion. And just like him and his brother did in the final race of that championship, he has found himself victorious. Last time they were powered by Jeff's bagel run. This time they didn't need that. This time they just needed the power of Red Bull to launch them to victory. at the Nordschleife. Ooh, out of shape on the exit there, but he won't mind that too much. And there's no looking back for him. He's in the final sector now. Possibly the hardest race to win of them all. In the middle of the night, it's the Nordschleife against Squirrel, who's desperately hungry to grab another championship and put it under his belt. But Leon Forberg has been there to stop him. And that is 100 minutes since the start. 100 minutes since Forberg took the lead at turn 1. And has fought with Squirrel ever since. But Squirrel had the spin last lap, is now through the mini carousel. He goes. And now down the long back straight. It's Forberg. And it's Forberg again. Down the long back straight. There's a back marker in front. He's flashing the headlights in celebration. He wins again. Forberg. And he will start as he means to go on in the America's Racing League Summer Showdown. It is Leon Forberg for the win here. Nordschleife in the dark has been conquered by Red Bull Ferrari. Squirrel should be happy with second place. Fought really, really well. It got really close towards the end there. And a 1-2 for Ferrari as well. This is Martins. Andre Martins, who I would say has been third fastest today. Very much deserving of that final podium spot. Kowalczyk, very respectable fourth place. Also drove very well in the Porsche. Ferreira in the BMW gets to have a top 5 finish. Followed by Wright. It's 3rd and 6th for Clutch Kick Motorsports. They can be happy with that. Brett Butler in the Mustang for B&M Motorsport with his teammate behind him. Very good job from them. Amador has had a decent race as well. Made a few mistakes like that one into the barrier early on in the lap. And then Bender and Prince have had such an unfortunate race. And then Troiano and Dimpinjo as well. But meat and drink to Leon Forberg. Great race to him, and I cannot wait to watch him soon. I won't. Next weekend, of course, I'll be commentating on the 8 Hours of Silverstone to raise money for breast cancer, and then I won't be able to make it to round 2 of the Summer Showdown. But I will be back for round 3 of this championship. I've been Lucas Wills, thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.